Hello and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and Europa Universalis IV, Common Sense, playing as Scotland. So it is just about time, of course, it's always gotta happen. It's just about time, I think, to declare, justifying a trade conflict. Well, that sucks. I was gonna say, it's almost time to declare war on England, but I'm holding off a little bit. I like to build up my manpower reserves because currently, I don't have any manpower at all, and in order to reinforce my armies, I need another 439 men, and seeing as it's only regenerating at 132, that kinda sucks. So I figure, you know what, I should take at least an episode and try to rebuild something respectable. And then we will challenge England and wipe the floor with them, hopefully. Alright, well, I don't have any advisors, and you know what? I don't need my army maintenance right now, if it turns out I'm not going to attack them right away, so let's not do army maintenance. Let's enjoy 5 ducats a month, because, I'm getting almost a ducat a month right now out of Denmark for war reparations. Unfortunately, Sweden, the opportunistic little something, has, decided to jump in on a weak Denmark and Norway. I think Norway's army is basically dead, and all of the allies are currently taking on Denmark, so I expect them to lose a bit of land and become a lot less powerful pretty soon. Not happy about that. I mean, Sweden's my ally, but they didn't help me at all in the last war, so I feel no nostalgia for them. And, I feel like they're just sort of taking advantage of the hard work that I already did. The plus side is, if we decide to declare on England, or when we do, I suppose is the real question, France will jump in on this war. Not necessarily because France is friendly. They're actually defensive, which usually means they do not want to jump in on an offensive war. But against England in particular, they really, really don't like England. And you can see that their attitude towards enemies gives them a plus 40 reasons to jump in on the war, which is pretty cool. So the question then becomes, do we want to call in France? Now, I know one change that was made either in Common Sense in general or the 1.13 patch is you can only call in your allies for an offensive war once every 10 years. So if I call in France on this war, I will not be able to use France as my cudgel for anything else for a few years. The other downside is if I do decide to bring in France, it's very possible he'll expect to be given a piece of England, one of his core provinces, and if I don't do that, he'll start to dislike me a little bit. We can possibly recover from that, or we could possibly not. I'm not really sure. So, I don't know. I don't know how we want to deal with that. Alright, you know what? I'm actually going to experiment a little bit with some of these forts. So let's take a quick look at my military tab. Army tradition. Fully maintained forts. I think... yeah, I've got a bit of decay going on here. And the last jousting tournament means that I actually am going to be gaining 0.24 army tradition every year. But I can up that up a little bit more by having more forts. The question then is... where's the information on how much development we have? 131. So I think that the way the math works is you need to have 1 fort for every 50 development you have, rounded up in order to get the full amount. So 150, rounded up to the nearest 50, that's 150. Divide that by 50, that's 3. I need to have 3 active forts, I think, in order to take advantage of the Year of the Army Tradition. So I'm going to turn all 3 of those on. And it was currently... nope, there it is. Fully maintained forts. Okay, now we're up to our full value of 1. So my army tradition will be going up gradually. And that actually is pretty useful. Not only does it increase the morale of armies and the manpower recovery speed and so on, and your siege ability, but the higher your army tradition, the more pips you will get on whatever generals you hire. And while Alexander McTaggart is not especially good, I'd like to get rid of him, Eden is fantastic, and frankly... the reason he's great is because we had an event that gave me a 100 army tradition general. So you can imagine, if I got my army tradition up to 100, it's effectively like rolling someone like this almost every time. That's awesome. So I think we're gonna try for that. So let's leave the forts active. I know it's gonna cost me a little bit of money, but I'm no longer in debt. So we are going to enjoy that as long as we can. Let's actually pick up some advisors. Diplomatic reputation... inflation reduction could be nice, actually. I have a fair bit of that. So yeah, that's actually worthwhile, I think. We'll pick him up. Do I want a military guy? Morale of armies is good. But until... Well, I'm actually really high on military power right now, so because I have a diplomatic idea group, I think it's better to pick up one of these guys. Do I have a lot of aggressive expansion? Is the new question. 25 for England. Sweden doesn't care. France doesn't care. Provence, not much. Not enough to trigger any serious issues. So I think the Diplo reputation would technically be better. So let's pick him up. Whoop, bumped my mic. There we go. So yeah, now I'm not making nearly as much money per month, but I should be getting some diplomatic power, and I consider that a fair trade. And my inflation's going down, which is going to improve my situation all in all, just around the board. And I also think... Do I have enough? Yes. I could actually just pick up the next level of admin tech, so let's do that. I'm ahead of time now, which means I get an extra production efficiency of 20%. That is incredible. So let's enjoy that for a little while and rake in a little extra money from production. Not that I have much to produce in Scotland, let's be fair. I mostly have fish. Much fish in Scotland. But you know, hey, it's something. Money is money. I'm not going to complain about that. You're never going to hear me complain. Alright, so I need another 3,000 manpower in theory just to fully reinforce my units. They're not reinforcing right now because my army maintenance is all the way down. I can invest in the next round of ideas, my increased trade range. You know what? I'll pick it up. And I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. Not only is the trade range good, but now that I've gotten 3, I unlock the first Scottish idea, break the Black Douglas. The Douglas family was richly rewarded for their proud service during our wars for freedom against the hated English, because we know how much those Scottish love freedom. Yeah, I heard William Wallace scream it really loudly in Braveheart. Yet now they meddle too far in our affairs of the kingdom, we have now enough proof of treason, thus their lands will be forfeit and become part of the royal domain. National unrest -1. That's excellent because that's going to reduce some of these rebel factions a bit. In fact, the Northumbrian separatists are going to just completely go away. Leinster is still an issue. Norwegian is definitely an issue. I can reduce that a lot, though. I can reduce that a lot if I'm willing to park my army up here. It has a supply limit of 27, so I'm not especially worried about it. I could consolidate if I wanted to, but I don't think that's actually a worthwhile investment, so I'm going to hold off on that. Alright, and let's just continue doing our thing. Let's mothball... We did already. We already mothballed the transports, so I'm not losing any money from that. If I can get enough money, I actually wouldn't mind getting some more trade ships and really improving my situation here. That might be worthwhile. So our unrest decays by nothing? Well, let's wait until the next month and see what happens there. I'm going to bump it to speed 4. See if that goes up at all. It does not. Well, the Norwegian separatists are going to be a problem for me. It's not necessarily a bad idea to increase autonomy, because it's only 3 development. I'm getting practically nothing from it anyway, and frankly, the rebels are going to be far more dangerous, I think, than any reward I could possibly gain. So I'm going to increase the unrest. This will go down, which basically should mean that my, yes, Norwegian separatists will just decay down to 0. So really all I have to worry about is Leinster. So let's actually send the army down that direction instead. England, who are you in a war with? You're attacking Flanders. Really? That's interesting. Who else is in on this war? A few people by the look of it. Interesting. Did I get any messages about this? Best guess, yes. Declared war. There it is. The Palatinate started the war. Okay. Coalition. So Flanders... Stupid, sexy Flanders got so powerful that basically the HRE said, oh, we hate your guts. You took Holland. You took Holland and Breda. So they decided to jump in on this, and now they're going to go squish Flanders. And England decided to jump in on this too. They probably sent some of their troops, because I noticed a few are missing. The AI does tend to build transports now. More often, that is in the game, written into their AI now. So he's probably sent a few things off there. A few wars going off. Orkney has been cored. That's always a good thing. Actually, I probably didn't need to necessarily increase the autonomy in Orkney. As my overextension goes away, unrest will go down as well. Actually, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with Leinster. Oh, it's only 0.25 unrest right now, though. That's not much of anything. So, actually, the only reason Leinster's an issue is because a while back I decreased their autonomy, and I probably shouldn't have done that. Ooh, a trade conflict against Flanders. I could do that. And it actually would be a really, really easy war if I did. Just blockade their port straight out. But I don't think I'd gain much of anything from doing so, and I don't understand exactly how trade conflicts worked. Because I know in a previous game I played, I started up a trade war in a very similar situation to this, and for some reason I got a butt-ton of aggressive expansion across the board. Like, I have absolutely no idea how that happened. But I got so much aggressive expansion that practically everyone started coalitioning me. And I was like, okay, save and Control Z, reload, something. So, I probably should have canceled that, to be honest, but, whatever. I have it if I need it, but I probably don't need it. And I don't think there's really much to gain from attacking Flanders at this point, so. We can, however, start fabricating a claim against Iceland. I know we did just go to war with them, and I can't attack them for a few years, but the claims last for 25 years. So, meh. I got an extra diplomat doing nothing important. Let's just do that. Let's do that. Okay. How many diplomatic relations am I looking at right now? 3 out of 4. Do I want to pick someone else up? For example, if I were to pick up Castile, oh, they're not interested right now. Ah. They're allied to my rival Provence, and I do not like France. Is basically what it is. So, yeah, okay. So an alliance with Castile isn't necessarily possible, but it would be possibly if I dropped France as an ally. Something to consider if after the war with England I want to drop France and pick up Castile. That could be an option. Who else is there to make happy? I can't send... Can I send an insult? Hang on, have I sent an insult recently? It does not appear that I have. Okay. Secretary, take this one down for me as well. Dear England, eat my haggis. Your buddy, Scotland. Bam. That gave me a little extra 5 power projection. It's not like it's much, really. It's not enough to get me up to 5, which I kind of need, but it's enough to get a little tiny something. So I'll do that. Looks like Sweden is mopping up fairly nicely. No, I've only got 9 war score right now. But they should be fine. I think they had a lot of allies. It looks like Denmark actually picked up the Hansa as an ally? Is that correct? Let's see. Sweden is at war with... Yes. No? Wait. No? No, it looks like Sweden and Novgorod are at war with Denmark and Muscovy. Again, we've seen that happen before. Honestly, I'm just surprised Novgorod is hanging on as well as it has. Usually I see Novgorod get absolutely murdered by Muscovy and Sweden, because Sweden doesn't usually defend them for very long. They're like, oh, cool, a border to the east. Let's go and kill it, because we're Sweden, and we're awesome, and no one can beat us. Yeah, but that doesn't appear to have happened here, so... Alright. We have 19 ducats. We're getting some manpower back up. We can invest in some new technology. Now, this is important. We actually can pick up military tech 6. And that should give us an advantage over England, because they don't have that, do they? No, they have tech 5. In fact, Queen Jane I of York is, like, one of the worst possible leaders. It's very possible they're going to be stuck at low tech for a long time. They also have much lower prestige, which should actually make fighting them a lot easier. So having a tech advantage, plus a prestige advantage, and I think I also got an event for Morale of Armies a while back ago. Yes, the last jousting tournament. Morale of Armies plus 10% will help extra yearly prestige. I mean, there's a lot of good things that are happening for me right now. So, I'm not especially worried about it. What's this? Rebel Uprising? I mean, yes, technically, but Leinster is in theory about 7 years away. Separatism will continue to drop. So we're already down to 6.4% unrest. The autonomy decreased will expire eventually. Is there a way to tell when that will happen? Hang on. It cannot be changed until 1497. Wow, that long. I didn't realize autonomy changes lasted for like 20, 30 years. Kind of impressive, actually. Oh, Flanders. Oh, stupid, stupid, sexy Flanders. You are going to die. All right, we're no longer overextended. That's awesome. So now we have our terrible, terrible provinces. But they're islands, and we now are in fabrication range of Norway, which I already started. So when we want to, we can declare war on them. Ideally, long-term plans. All right, here's what's going to be happening. I'm going to be picking up probably administrative ideas as my next group. Because if I can, I don't mind holding on to a bazillion military points and upping my tech so I'm super far ahead of time. That's almost as worth it as picking up a military idea. So we'll do that. We'll pick up administrative ideas to save myself a ton of administrative power over the course of the game. And my third idea, I'll probably pick up exploration ideas. And by then we should have Iceland, and we can start exploring the new world. Good things will happen. It'll be awesome. Norway also has trade ideas, so no exploration. That's good. And Denmark has maritime ideas. Okay. So neither of them have gone exploration. I don't need to worry about anyone picking up the New World anytime soon. England has administrative ideas, but nothing in it. So good. We should remain relatively unchallenged. I think we're going to be easily the first ones to get to Canada and form some level of a colony. We're going to make France like us a bit. Papal State surprisingly is happy with me, so let's bump that up as much as possible to get some extra papal influence. We've got 20 already. I could invest some to try and become the papal controller and take that away from England. I just don't see that happening anytime soon. We have a single cardinal. There we are. France and England are actually investing a lot trying to get this. I'd rather save my papal points to buy one of these perks that you can get as a Catholic nation. So you can spend your power to get, let's say, national tax modifier, yearly legitimacy, less interest and inflation, diplomatic reputation, mercantilism, which is one of the few ways you can get it in the game besides random events, manpower recovery speed, stability, yearly prestige. I mean, there's a lot of good things you can get. Playing Catholic isn't necessarily a bad idea at all. So the higher my opinion is with the Papal State, the more papal influence I should get, I believe. Complaints about bailiff. A bailiff in one of our provinces has earned a reputation as a greedy and cruel person. Shame. The local populace have gathered a petition to have him removed, execute him, or... Well, I mean, I have to take the stability. I'm sorry, the prestige. It's far more important to lose stability than a Gosh, I am mixing these up in my head a lot. Far more important to lose prestige than stability. England, what are you doing in France? How did you get military access in France? Also, half your army, well, not half, but some of your army is in France. And you're sending your transports. You're doing it again! You're doing it again, England! Oh, and the Palatinate. Wait a minute. Who do they declare on? The Palatinate declared on Flanders. Are you defending Flanders? You're not defending Flanders. No, you're fighting against Flanders, right? Yes, okay. So your allies have all gathered up in Calais. It looks like you're going to be sending your general and a bunch of your troops. You probably have 6 more on here. There's another one down there. How many troops do you even have? I don't know, but probably not a lot. The important thing is, you're dividing your forces, just like you did fighting against Austria. How well did that work out for you, England? Not well at all. I'm willing to bet. So let's actually start moving some troops. Let's do it. Let's move some troops over to England, and let's get ready for war, because, dang it all, he's being dumb, and I am a fool if I don't take advantage of that. Actually, I have an extra light chip. I should send that to join the rest. Okay, now here's one thing before we end this video, because next video I think I'm probably going to declare war on England. But something I want to do. Cannot. We actually should disable scuttage or scootage or whatever it's called, because currently they're not going to be called into wars, and I don't know how that works if I decide to feed them territory. If they're not technically fighting in the war, I don't think I can switch the occupation to them, which kind of defeats the purpose, so I'm going to go ahead and disable that. Instead, it would give them 25 Liberty Desire, but they only got 12.9. So, that's not so bad. So yeah, we're going to bring Connaught back and let them fight in the war, and hopefully feed them a bit of Welsh territory. And then I'll just jump on England next video. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump on England at the beginning of next video. I don't think they even have anyone in London, which is my primary goal anyway. So yeah, this is definitely what we're going to do, but that's going to have to wait till next video. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Pravus with EU4 Common Sense Scotland. If you're enjoying this video and this entire series, be sure to hit the like button and comment to support the channel and subscribe for future content. I'll see you guys next time.